has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Well, the Phillies, who we were talking about with Jody Mack, they finished off the 4-game sweep of the Nationals. How about that pounding on Sunday, Carver High?
They certainly did. They beat up the Nationals all weekend long, Scotty. 13-1 on Sunday. And Rhys Hoskins, he had a homer, Scotty, in all 4 games. He finished up the quadruple on NBC Sports Philadelphia yesterday.
Yeah, and then he blames me for the ball in Los Angeles.
Towering shot to left center field. Forget about that one. He's homered in 4 straight games. It's a 2-run bomb for Rhys. 6-0 Phillies.
Go Phils.
And he's hot, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Well, he's short and quick right now.
Yes, he is.
Well, let's get him on there tomorrow, Carver High. Yeah, with that Lions share. Son.
Yeah, I think Rhys Hoskins with 4 in a row is going to be part of the lion's share tomorrow for the Taters, that's for sure. Pete Rose, Scotty, returned to Philadelphia yesterday. They were having a celebration for the 1980 team. First time he's been allowed on the field there. He put on some show, to be quite honest with you, talking to reporters, called one of the reporters Babe when she asked about one of his past discretions with a minor. And then he also was in the broadcast booth, Scotty, where he dropped a couple of bombs on air. So quite the day for Pete Rose yesterday in Philadelphia.
Well, how about your boy, the Hit King, laughing off the accusations of what he did to allegedly a minor all those years ago. And he said, basically pulled out the statute of Ferrall on the chick. Yeah. He's like, that was 55 years ago, babe. Like, this guy, I mean, it's funny because he wants to be, have those chains taken off of him, Giamatti and everybody put on him for life. He's been banned for life. And you've always said they're going to wait till he's dead, and then they're going to let him in posthumously into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. But you go on, record live in front of people and start laughing off sexual assault allegations and then dropping bombs on TV. I mean, maybe they're not so wrong after all about Pete Rose to keep him away from baseball, because anyone that, it was like, don't talk to me about that. That happened 55 years ago. You can't get me on that. That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like a guy that thinks he can get away with anything, just like when he was, betting on his own team.
He even said to her, "You weren't alive then. You don't have the right to talk about it." Is pretty much what he said.
Yeah, listen,
asking him the questions.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. He's one of the greatest baseball players I ever saw in my life, bar none. But I think he really is an idiot.
No question about that. The Royals beat the Red Sox 13-5 yesterday. Normally, Scotty, we would pass by on this game and not play a highlight, but the Red Sox lost 3 out of 4, so here's MJ Melendez hitting a 3-run shot on Valley Sports, Kansas City.
Melendez goes after the first pitch and launches it high
Melendez
in the
brothers.
Deep to right center. Way back, and that ball is gone.
The Melendez brothers coming through in the clutch against the Bo Sox.
We welcome in all of our radio affiliates. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday, Sirius XM 159, Sports Map, Sports Byline. Good to have you with us. The Red Sox have been so bad, Scotty, that even Dennis Eckersley can't take it anymore. He's retiring from NESN after the season. No more games for Eck up there in Boston. The Reds beat the Brewers 4-2 in 10 innings yesterday. So the Brewers, Scotty, let's recap. 1-5 since the Hader trade last week. They've now fallen to second in the NL Central. And this isn't like a 1-5. They lost all 3 to the Pirates and lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds. Let's check the temperature with manager Craig Counsell.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a way, you just want to get right back at it. But it's, we had we did a tough week of baseball. We didn't play great. A lot of things didn't go our way.
We traded our all-star closer.
It resulted in a bunch of losses.
Yeah, we got rid of a lefty closer that's unhittable, and all of the team revolted, and they don't want to play for him anymore, and they are folding up shop. I mean, who are you betting on now to win the Central? The Cardinals.
Hey, I said it to you that day after we played that clip of Devin Williams in the locker room. Go get the Cardinals to win the NL Central. This does not look like a team that's very happy right now. And finally, the Mariners beat the Angels 6-3. The Wink Man getting involved with the Grand Slam on Root Sports.
2-0 pitch. Down the line. It's got a really good look to it. It is
There's the soul man.
For Jesse Winker.
Oh, Christ. I got to tell you, I am scared to death of them tonight. I mean, that's just going to make for a long night for me, turning that on at 10 o'clock and trying to go to bed watching them lose again to the Mariners. I'm surprised you didn't get that Suarez guy on the home run line share today with as many as he hits against them. He owns Tyone. He's hit a couple against him. We should bet on his ass.
I thought about it. Believe me, plus 375, I think, for Eugenio Suarez tonight. To go deep. Add it to the list. Add Suarez to the list tonight. All right, we'll come back. Quick look at the standings and then tonight's games. Let's go.
That's like extra chum in the boat.
Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
People are going to the betting window and betting them now before the trade takes place.
How dare they do what's fiscally responsible? See how it plays out. Buffalo's going all in right now.
Football full circle.
All their chips in the middle of the table. It's do or die for them.
And Godwin being out, they've had a little bit of a shakeup.
In-game live all access.
You could take the points. You could take the money line. And
we had to go to San Jose, too. Maybe a small play on San Jose. I'm going to go both underdogs here. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Wow. In-game live. Prime
he plays
time.
like he did in Game 5. They are going to be all good in Game 6 at home.
Boy, you want to give me 8.5 points with a desperate team facing elimination?
Get the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The morning after.
In your mind, Arm, where we are right now in early August, is it still a two-team race to win the AL?
You know, I think it's one of those situations where it's baseball, and if you can always sprinkle on another team, I think there's always a shot, right? And I look at the Mariners and what they've been able to do, and there's definitely some value there. You go get Luis Castillo, and you get healthy internally as well. Kyle Lewis is back. You also are ready to get Mitch Haniger back. That's going to be a huge, huge boost for the offense.
The Sports Grid Network.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow inside the $1.3 trillion business of sports with your daily numbers game. Nashville Predators always have been very creative. One of the great ideas of Sunbelt franchises, the logo, the entertainers on ice and partners. How about this, though? A relationship with Austin Peay to sell marketing and sponsorship rights for their facility not too far away. Result? $1.1 million in sponsorships, in events, in generated increased revenue for the university. Stashville and Smashville coming together. The idea of buying power because of the Predators and new inventory because of Austin Peay. And the result has been positive for all concerned. Looking for a model where universities partner with the professional franchises in that community in order to generate some significant content, revenue, and opportunities. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Daily Numbers Game.
So when Carver High got on the train today, it was over 100 degrees in New York City. And he thought he was hallucinating because when he got on the train into the, car and, just trying to sit down and get off his feet because he was just exhausted and hot and soaking wet. He looked inside the carriage there, the Iron Horse, and every single media, like they got ads all over the train everywhere. You could read, it's like the Bible, but they all said at Sports Grid and at Sports Grid TV, and he thought he was in a dream. He didn't know, he thought he was hallucinating because of the hot weather. But it was actually that we have now taken over the Iron Horse as well for our advertising and our social media agenda. And every single train in New York City, whether it's Grand Central or Penn Station, they all say at Sports Grid and at Sports Grid TV. Unbelievable.
Good way to do it. A lot of eyeballs on those trains, that's for sure. A couple of other things before we get to tonight quickly. Thursday night, Scotty, they returned to Iowa. The Field of Dreams game, and MLB tried to find the two absolute worst teams that they could send out there to the cornfield. The Cubs and the Reds is what you're going to get on Thursday night, and look at the awful jerseys they're giving them, too. Now, of course, these are from like 100 years ago, like they did with the Yankees and the White Sox last year. But there you go, Scotty. Cubs and Reds Thursday night in the cornfield.
I mean, who would you rather watch? Your guy Wisdom Tooth or Aaron Judge coming out of the corn? Your boy Wisdom Tooth now and Joey Votto. What could be worse?
Let me tell you, they're going to definitely try to prove the theory that people just watch to see the corn out in the outfield. They're trying to prove it with those bad teams. That's for sure. At least last year you had Judge and the Yankees. You had the White Sox who were really good last year. And they must have been like, oh, people only watch because of the field. Well, we're going to find out with the Cubs and the Reds, that's for sure. Here's your MLB Power Rankings. I think the only reason why you sent this to me this morning is because the Yankees were ahead of the Astros and the Mets. I think that's the only reason why you sent that this morning.
Well, that was one of the reasons. And the other reason was that the Padres are ahead of the Braves. And I don't believe that either. I think, the Padres are paper giants. They're paper champions. Everybody's favorite team to bet on. This is like people that bet on the Browns to win the Super Bowl. Okay?
Yeah.
You just keep tripping with that team that's never won jack shack. And you know what I was going to drop right there, a big old bomb. They never do anything. It's so unbelievable to me because I hope they do it, right? To shed the haunting that has been their franchise. It's like a horror movie watching them. Twice in the World Series, Yankees swept their ass, and they have never sniffed it since. But everybody's talking about them winning the World Series. They're the fifth best team in baseball, but they get swept every time they play the Dodgers. Shut up.
They would lose to, I think, the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Braves in a playoff series.
And maybe the Phillies and Cardinals.
Maybe if the Phillies get everybody going, get smoking with the bats like they can, very possible they could as well. We like to check the standings here as we start another week. The dog days of August in full effect here in Major League Baseball, Scotty. The Yankees, I will say this, for the first time in a long time, their lead in the American League East has actually gone to single digits. They've been in obviously 13 games, 15 games. Blue Jays have it down to 9.5. Not saying the Blue Jays are coming back to get them, but that tells you how bad the Yankees have been playing, that a team's actually gotten it to single digits.
Hey, it's happened before. Teams have had double-digit leads at the All-Star break and lost the division in the second half, so don't tell me it couldn't happen. We'll keep an eye on it now that it's at 9.5. I have a bad feeling about Seattle. You know as well as I do, they never play well there. It's been, speaking of horror shows, a house of horrors for them is going to play in Seattle. They've never done well there. I hope they turn it around here against the M's. I don't know about you, but I'm just not feeling it.
They never play well on any of those West Coast places. Seattle, Oakland, Anaheim, they always play poorly in those venues. The Central, not much changed over the last week in the Central, Scotty. Basically, these three teams, they just go back and forth, winning and losing. The Twins still 1 up on the Guards, 2 up on the White Sox. I believe that's the same as they were a week ago. So no blood this week in the AL Central. Twins still the favorite at plus 125.
How can you be that bad and still you're only 2 games out, the White Sox? I'm telling you, like, God must like them or something, because they have been so awful, anemic, and fair to middling average. It's not even funny. And yet they're, 2 games over 500 and 2 games back. I mean, 2 games is like a bowel movement. That's how little those 2 games is not anything to, be proud of.
No.
Let's face facts. The Guards are 1 back, they're 2 back. They are both every bit as much of a chance to win that division as the Twins are.
They certainly do. Not much to see in the West, Scotty, so we'll just show it really fast. The Astros have an 11-game lead. The only thing interesting to me there is when the A's are going to pass the Angels. That'll happen sometime in the next week or 2, and the Angels will be in last place in the American League West. That's coming, believe me. The wild card in the American League at this point has the Blue Jays at the top, Tampa in the second wild card, Seattle in the third wild card. The Guards are 2 back. The Orioles are 2 back of the last wild card. So even though the Orioles got rid of some of their pieces, Scotty, they've still won some ball games, and they are hanging around now at 56 and 52.
Well, I think it helped to, sweep the Rangers and then, beat up the Pirates for the most part. So they're in it, and I think at some level, I still think they'll regret giving up Lopez. You can't.
Yes.
I think the Brewers and the Orioles are going to regret the Hader and Lopez deadline deals at some point in the end. We'll come back to this conversation and say it was when they gave up those 2 guys that they lost.
In the National League, as you have discussed a lot, both us and with Sal, the Mets now have a 6.5-game lead on the Braves. They have gone to minus 700 to win the division. Braves now plus 500. I think the Mets have got it, Scotty.
Well, I mean, I don't know because I'm not that smart, but I'm assuming they got to go to Atlanta at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves get revenge on them. But that 6.5-game burger looks really delicious when you got DeGrom and Scherzer and Diaz. And, I mean, Lindor is doing everything that they thought he would do when they brought him here. Pete Alonso's a freak. McNeil, everyone on that team is producing. So I don't think they're going to blow it.
And the Cardinals have taken over the Brewers now in the Central. They've won 7 in a row. They have a 2-game lead as the Brewers, of course, have lost 5 of their last 6. I think I saw last night, Scotty, they play each other 7 or 8 more times between now and the end of the season, with 5 of those games in Busch Stadium for the Cards. So they still have a lot of meetings together.
Well, it's a tough place to play, as the Yankees found out, and I think that's a huge edge over the Brewers down the stretch. 5 of the 7 games are at Busch. I lean Cardinals like you did the day they got rid of Hader. There's no way that they're out of it, the Brewers, but they got problems because the Cardinals have everything going in their favor.
Not much to see like in the American League in the West. The Dodgers are done, Scotty. They've got a 15-plus game lead over the Padres after sweeping them. Nothing to see there. The National League wild card, Braves are in the first spot. The Phillies are in the second. The Padres are in the third spot. The Brewers are a game and a half back of them. And then there's a gap. The Giants are 6.5 back. So you're getting into a spot, Scotty, where we got some separation here in the National League, where maybe the loser of the Cardinals and the Brewers is going to be the team on the outside.
Or with all the glory that everyone's handed San Diego, that they're automatically going to win the World Series because they got Juan Soto. They blew it last year. They might blow it again this year. I mean, they're not winning the West. They're hanging by a game and a half. They better start winning some games or they're going to be on the outside looking in.
Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
People are going to the betting window
Betting
and
above
betting
the
them now
rim.
before the trade takes place.
How dare
Diamond
they do
bets.
what's fiscally responsible? See how it plays out. Buffalo's going all in right
Football
now. They need
full
to put
circle.
all their chips in the middle of the table. It's do or die for them.
And Godwin being out, they've had a little bit of a shakeup.
In-game live all
You
access.
could take the points, you could take the money line, and
We had to go to San Jose too. Maybe a small play on San Jose. I'm going to go both underdogs here. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Wow. In-game live.
He
Prime
plays
time.
like he did in Game 5. They are going to be all good in Game 6 at home.
Boy, you want to give me 8.5 points with a desperate team facing
Get
elimination.
the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Betting above the rim.
To me, I think this is about LeBron trying to angling his way to see what he wants with the Lakers, i.e. Kyrie Irving. What's going on with Kyrie? Are we getting him now? Are we waiting till the season starts? He's in silence sometimes, and I think what he's doing is he's trying to figure out what's his next step, which probably includes playing with Bronny.
Betting above the rim. The Bostonian versus the book.
You spend all this time, take your money, go to the window, make the bet, get the app, make the bet. You make all these bets. And then you come back because somebody asked you a question about you mushed my bet. You just did it. You just did it to me. Oh, man. Like, are you a clown? Take the makeup off for me first.
The Bostonian versus the book. Your heart's racing. The clock's running out. It all comes down to this. We're talking pregame. Pregame. Get locked in with Game Time Decisions. Your hosts, Gabe Morency and Cam Stewart, will get you ready for game time. Everything you need to know before a game goes off the board, with the bet slips to back it up. Make your best bet with live odds updates, late breaking news, up-to-the-minute injury reports, and real-time analytics from inside the sportsbooks. All the odds, all the action, from sports wagering insiders and industry pros like Donnie Rightside, Cam Lou, Cousin Sal, the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, and more. Get the winning edge every weekday afternoon from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 4 Pacific. It's Game Time Decisions. Only on Sports Grid.
All right, Carver High. I got to tell the fans about the BetMGM thing again because it's crucial that they get in on this because if not, they're just losing out on wads of cash. I mean, they're going to give you $200 if either team hits a home run if you bet $10 on any major league game on the BetMGM app. All you have to do is put the bonus code in, MLBHR 2022. That's MLB Home Run 2022. Bet $10, get $200 if anyone hits a home run in the game. It's like they are giving away sheets of money like the Federal Reserve. BetMGM, these people are beautiful.
They certainly are. And one of those games, Scotty, that you might want to use that on is our first one for tonight. We have 7 games in Major League Baseball. It is time to cash some tickets. Yeah, why not? Could be gas can night down in Baltimore for the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Jordan Lyles and who else? Kikuchi on the hill for the Blue Jays tonight at Camden Yards. Minus 136 for the Jays. This total a hefty 9.5 tonight.
Yeah, I like the runs. I like the over. I like Lyles. We bet on him with strikeouts, so I'm going to stay O's here. I like the way they're playing ball. Both of these teams are dangerous and can score. We already know what Vladdy and company can do with the sticks. Ever since I went up there and watched Toronto, I've been telling you, this is a playoff team. They got talent up and down that roster. They got decent pitching. I was surprised when they fired their manager. but they have held down the fort, and right now they're still leading playoffs. I'm going to go O's tonight, though, at Camden. I like this team.
I will say it's worked. They've played better since they fired him. Schneider's done a good job. The bats have come alive for them. The Reds open a series at Citi Field against the Mets tonight, who come off the big weekend against Atlanta. The Basset Hound goes for the Mets, done for Cincinnati. Heavy lumber, minus 360 for the Mets, total of 9.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier that the Mets are going to score all these runs. I won't be surprised at all if they tee off on Dunn and the Reds. I love the Mets. They're my number one play on FerrallOnABench.com. I love the Basset Hound. This team is very dangerous right now. They're playing great baseball. I think the best baseball, really, the Dodgers and Mets have been the best, if you ask me, over, let's just give it 35 games. I know since the All-Star break, I think they're 12-6. The Mets have looked fantastic, and they've opened up that big burger of a lead of 6.5 over the Braves.
The Nationals and the Cubbies tonight at Wrigley Field, Scotty. Anibal Sanchez against Thompson. Cubs minus 200. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Nationals on principle. The Cubs should never be minus 200 against anybody. Total of 8. I'm on the Nats tonight, Scotty, and Luke Voit to go yard. Let's go.
Well, I hope Luke Voit hits a home run, but Thompson has been, in my view, the Cubs' best pitcher. He's 8-5. He's got an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, Sanchez gets lit up for 8 to 10 runs a game every time the guy pitches. They're a minor league team. Cubs on the north side. I like Chicago, and I like the over. I think there's going to be a lot of runs against Sanchez tonight. Give me the Cubbies.
Out to the ashtray we go next. Suarez and our boy Cole Irvin for the A's tonight. Minus 122 against the Angels. This total 7.5.
Yeah, I'm on Irvin and the A's. We were on him in the lion's share. I'm on him in this game. I think this is very interesting, this game, though. In terms of the total, I'm going to take a risk here and say under. I just think they both stink, so they're not going to score runs.
Look, they've played some very sleepy late-night West Coast games. I watched a bunch of them. The under has been a good play for the A's and the Angels lately, that's for sure. The Buccos, Scotty, head to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen is going to be going for them. We've got Beatty going for the Bucks. Minus 250 for Arizona, total of 8. This is like the Cub game for me. The Diamondbacks shouldn't be minus 250 against anybody. Give me the Buccos tonight, Scotty, in the desert.
Well, I think Zach Gallen has been the best Diamondback pitcher, and they're at home. The Pirates are 20 games under 500. They're a terrible road team. I like the D-backs here, and believe it or not, the under. I think both of these guys keep it under 4 runs a game. I'm going to take a shot with the under here. The Bucks don't score a lot of runs at home, let alone on the road. The Diamondbacks don't score a lot of runs either because they suck too. I'm going to go under and D-backs.
Giants and the Padres at Petco tonight. Of course, the Padres looking to bounce back after the awful weekend in Los Angeles. Blake Snell against Alex Wood. Minus 190 for San Diego. 7.5 is the total.
You know, I actually think the Padres erupt tonight after getting their ass beat at Chavez Ravine all weekend. I think Blake Snell looked great in his first game playing with Soto last week. He pitched great. I think he's starting to pitch better again. I'm on San Diego here, and I think there's going to be lots of runs in this game. Wood gives up lots of runs. Snell's giving up 4 or 5 runs a game, automatic every time he pitches. So I think there's lots of runs at Petco, lots of ice cream tonight. Give me the Padres.
And finally, the Yankees open a series in Seattle against the Mariners. Mariners took 2 out of 3 from them in the Bronx last week. Jameson shots of Tyone against our boy Gilbert Grape. The Yankees minus 116, total of 8 in this one.
I mean, that's really hard. I think the 8 doesn't happen because of Tyone and Gilbert Grape. They both keep it in the 3s. In that neighborhood, 3-4 runs. It's going to be right around that. I think it's going to be a 4-3, 3-2 type game. I'm on the M's, Gilbert, and Seattle to beat the Yankees and to keep the skid going. I already saw them come into the Bronx and kick their ass in 2 or 3. I think it's going to happen again. I won't be surprised at all. Look, I want the Yankees to win tonight. Are we clear? I think they get swept again.
Wow. How about that? Tomorrow we will discuss Garrett Cole against Louis Castillo. That is your pitching matchup tomorrow night, Scotty. Remember, they faced off last Wednesday afternoon. Cole gave up 6 runs in the first inning, and Castillo dominated.
He's a mess.
So we get the rematch. Of those.
He's a mess, and I'm sick of his pressers afterwards, like, blaming the pitch selection and then the bad pitches and everything. Why doesn't he just come? Do you ever hear a guy just come flat out and say, I got lit the F up? He got lit the F up. 3 home runs in the first inning. He got lit the F up. He never says that ever. It must be a little mind game of his. It's always someone else's fault why they lose. He has sucked lately again. Remember, he was decent, then he was really good, and now he's bad again. Like he's every time he goes out, he gets home runs left and right against him. 3 in 1 inning. Christ, he gave up 6 runs in 1 inning, all earned. I mean, I'm done with Ace Ventura, too, listening to him. I'm betting against him tomorrow, too. You think I'm going to bet on him against Castillo in Seattle? You're nuts.
We will talk about that tomorrow on Coast to Coast. There is your night in baseball. Let's cash some tickets, Scotty. All right, NFL here for the rest of the way on Coast to Coast and a few other things. We have made it, Scotty, the first real week of the NFL preseason. We have 2 games Thursday, a bunch of games Friday, bunch of games on Saturday, and a game on Sunday. Let's start with the Rams. Of course, when we left on Friday, a lot was being made of Matthew Stafford and the arm tendonitis or fatigue that he has in his throwing arm. Well, he did practice over the weekend, let it go a little bit. Here he is afterwards saying he's fine, and he also didn't really seem like he wanted to talk about it, Scotty. Here's Matthew Stafford.
I don't know. I just have a little soreness. We're working through it. I felt pretty good today. Thought it looked pretty good. But just trying to be smart with it and make me feel as good as I can feel going into week 1 and while still getting as many reps as I can too.
Is the soreness while you're throwing or just after a day of throwing that you're dealing with?
General soreness. I don't know. Doesn't matter, but no, I'm just going through something that is irritating.
That's someone telling him not to answer it.
But I'm working through it. We got a great plan. I'm feeling stronger every time I come out here and throw. I don't know if you guys were watching. It felt like I could make any throw I wanted to today, and just trying to be smart when I get those opportunities and make sure I can come out here, cut it loose, turn it loose, like I did today, and go from there.
I'm not worried about week 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm worried about weeks 10 through 17 when his arm falls off. Any guy that has elbow problems now, they will resurface when you play in the NFL every single week and you get hit and you throw that ball 40 to 50 times a game, which is what they do. I just don't believe him. Any guy that they know he has an elbow problem and they're acting like he doesn't, and they're laughing at the media saying, you're all crazy, we're getting sick and tired of talking about it. You see him looking off, some guy trying to tell him, don't answer it, just move on. That's what was happening there. This guy has an issue. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's not a big issue yet, but it will be.
He did not look comfortable wanting to talk and discuss his arm. He just wanted to say, I feel fine, and move on. They weren't letting him do that.
There's
more to it. As much as he wants to let on, there is more to it. And you're right. He might play week 1. He might play week 2. But this is something that could rear its ugly head further on into the season for the Rams and Matthew Stafford. Kareem Hunt, Scotty, asked the Browns to trade him over the weekend. They nicely said to him, no, we're not going to trade you. You're not going anywhere. You're part of the Browns. He's a free agent at the end of the season, Scotty. I like that. We usually don't get that. The team just going, no, we're not trading you. Play or don't. Move on.
Well, I think there needs to be more of that in pro sports. Like, you sign a deal and you have a commitment to these teams, and everybody, these Durants, these guys, they all want to be traded every time they burp. I'm sick and tired of it. Like, we own you. It is what it is. You signed a deal. Shut the F up.
The Early Line.
I'm high on Josh McDaniels because if the Raiders have a good year, that means they're battling with the likes of the Chargers. They're battling with the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're getting after it in the mix here possibly for that division, and that's going to be a strong point because the thing that we see a lot, Kevin, are the younger coaches, not necessarily in age, but being with those organizations where if they have a good season, they automatically get the flip of the cap here to the top of the heap at the FanDuel Sportsbook to be Coach of the Year.
Only on Sports Grid.
Maurice Allen, 2015-2016 European Long Drive Tour champion, 2017 world number 1. Me personally, I keep my game face on me all the time. Especially coming out of the bunker, leaving the range, or even leaving the course. What's your story?
The morning after.
You had to place a bet on the old versus the young. Who gets Joe P's money at the quarterback spot this season?
Well, my daddy always said youth and skill is no match for old age and treachery. So I think we still have to look at Tom Brady always. Tom Brady threw for more than 5,000 yards last year, boys and girls, and I know he's 45 years old. He lives off of your disdain for him, you're telling him he can't do something, and avocados.
The Sports Grid Network.
If you want to pick like a pro, you need to be in the know. The future of sports gaming is now, and we take you inside the lines, breaking down all the action and what it means for your bet slip. Turn down the game and tune into Sports Grid Radio. Other networks talk sports talk, but we walk the walk, right up to the window. Sports Grid Radio. Listen free on the Sports Grid Radio app, iHeart or TuneIn, or catch us on SiriusXM Sports Grid Channel 159.
Betting above the rim.
Riding Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey in the backcourt. I love Detroit smashing that 27.5. Sneaky value to make the playoffs at plus 1,800 as well.
That's why you're my guy, Shane. I mean, that's why you're my boy. Detroit basketball.
Yes,
they're back. They got the depth. And don't sleep on the additions of Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks.
Betting above the rim.
Cover High, I just wanted to say that I do not want to be traded.
Good, because the answer's no. You won't be traded. If you put in the trade request, the answer is going to be no, just like they told Kareem Hunt in Cleveland. That should happen at some point this week, too. We'll get into more Deshaun Watson stuff whenever they drop the hammer on him over at the league office with your guy out there.
You know that's coming.
General. Cowboys now. Let's hear from Mike McCarthy, Scotty, over the weekend as they're getting their last few practices in over in Oxnard before their preseason game with the Broncos and then heading back to Big D. Ezekiel Elliott needs to be better, right, Scotty? Well, Mike's not going to tell you how much he's going to play or where he is on the depth chart and anything else. More coaches who don't want to talk to reporters. Here we go.
And piggybacking off that, especially with the running backs, we saw Zeke running as a full lead back with Tony.
That's scheme, Clarence. He does this all the time. John, help him out. I can't talk scheme up here. It's illegal. I mean, you got everything on video already. I'm checking all your accounts. I mean, yeah, you guys got better angles than our video department. Yeah. But Zeke's doing a lot for us. You know, I think just like anything, I think it's obvious that Zeke and Tony need to be on the field. So I think that's part of it. So we'll just stay in the personnel group, Clarence. Okay, good.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I think Zeke's got a lot of mileage on them tires, man. For 27, he looks 33 to me. I mean, honestly, I think Pollard's better.
27. I mean, that is amazing when you think about it. You're right. He's got a lot of wear. A guy who does not have a lot of wear yet, Scotty, is the Steelers' first-round pick, Kenny Pickett. He was listed third on the Steelers' first unofficial depth chart at the quarterback position. Let's hear how he thought this past week went at camp. Very positive, Kenny, playing with the 2s and the 3s. Here he is.
I definitely thought I had, a really good week, and I think as an offense we had a great week and just kind of building off it each day.
How different does it feel from week 1 to week 2 in training camp now? So you're gotten into pads faster. How are you adjusting?
Yeah, I feel a lot better, honestly. Like, just being able to play with these guys for a little bit, I thought it was a lot cleaner this week. Being able to play at a much higher level, so, definitely feel good going into week 3.
Was it much of an adjustment, shifting down here and doing all this?
Yeah, it's just kind of go with the flow. I mean, Coach always says, got to be light on your feet and just react and be ready to go play. So, made the adjustment, came down here, and I thought we had a really productive day today.
Yeah, they're not going to start the kid, but I have to tell you, there is no reason in the world to worry about it. This kid's going to have a long career. He's going to play, 12 to 15 years in the NFL, my guess, like all good quarterbacks. If they go 20 years, it's a miracle. You go 15, that's a great career. You go 12, you've had a nice run. That kid's future is in front of him. I believe in him. I think he's a really good quarterback. I don't think he's ready to take over the Pittsburgh Steelers in his very first year and run anything except into the ground. I think they should go with Trubisky, and then if all else fails at some point, he gets injured or sucks, then you let the kid play. But my guess is that just right now, it's year 2 that we'll see him at the earliest.
I don't think it's a bad thing, Scotty, if he doesn't take a snap this year. Like, if it's late December and things are decided, you want to get him in a game, get his feet wet. But I don't think it's a bad thing if he doesn't play. If Mitchell Trubisky plays all year, I'm not going to say if Mason Rudolph. I know nobody wants to see him. But if Trubisky plays all year, that means things are going good for the Steelers, right? It's probably a good thing if there's no reason to put the kid in the game.
I can guarantee you, and no one wants to hear it, and I don't either, but it's the reality of it. Mason Rudolph is so far ahead of Kenny Pickett in the Steelers system, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
When Roethlisberger wasn't playing, Rudolph played. He's played in a lot of games, and he knows it better than anybody. He knows it better than Trubisky. That's why there was some nonsense last week that he was the guy that is going to steal the gig and be the starter. I still think it's Trubisky's job, without a doubt. And I'm not kidding when I say I think Mason Rudolph's the 2 and that Pickett's playing next year.
The Giants, of course, have a new head coach again in Brian Daboll. That means, Scotty, another offense for quarterback Daniel Jones to learn. This is, of course, a put-up or shut-up year for Daniel. They did not pick up his 5th-year option. So how is he progressing under Daboll's new system? Not too well this morning. Every tweet I saw said that he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Here's Daniel Jones, Scotty.
And how comfortable are you in your mind with this offense?
Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable every day, I think. We're still early in the process. We've got a lot of work to do. I think that's certainly my mindset. I think that's Coach Daboll's mindset and the whole group's mindset is we've got a lot of work to do and we're eager to do it. So I'm comfortable and continuing to work to get more comfortable.
I got to tell you, and I've said this to you many times over the years, we've been together a long time. I never thought he was good at Duke. Like, I just do not think that he's a good quarterback. And I'll tell you what, I mean, he's not even the toe jam of Eli Manning. Like, toe fungus. That's what he is. He honestly has done nothing at all of any substance in the NFL. And I got to tell you, this team they got, they stink. Like, they don't have anything. They keep bragging about their GM and their coach from Buffalo. I mean, I don't really care who's sitting in the front office with a tie on. I need players to execute and win games. They act like Brian Dable's Vince Lombardi already. I mean, this guy has gotten more juice than any first-year quarterback I've ever heard in my life. Are you going to sit here and tell me that Brian Dable is the reason the Bills are good? Stop. He's a good coach. Great. The reason the Bills are so good is Josh Allen and a great defense. End of story. If you give credit to Brian Dable for the success in Buffalo, you're drunk.
Look, I think that these two guys can eventually lead the Giants to the right way. I mean, hell, they can't be any worse than they've been under the past few guys that have ran the ship. But it ain't going to be in the first year. It ain't going to be in the first year. It's going to take time because there's still a very large mess that needed to be cleaned up from Gettleman. And part of that mess is this quarterback that's going to play for them this year.
You're right.
And when they see how bad he is and they lose enough games, that'll give them an opportunity to get their quarterback of the future, which could be Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, but they got to lose enough games to do that. And I think they might be able to do that with the quarterback that they have.
Tank for Tua.
Tank for Tua, baby. Here's Justin Herbert of the Chargers, Scotty. And look, I don't really care what he has to say. I just thought that you wanted an update on how his preseason flow is looking because we know the young man got a good set of hair. Let's take a look at what Justin Herbert has working up top here in the middle of August, Scotty. Let's go.
I think as an offense, we've done a lot of good things. We've made huge steps
he's got
compared to last year where we were at this point.
With like a little flow in the back.
Like,
what's he got cooking there?
Build on
he's
our
got the soccer band.
Just being out there, timing with routes. And I think protections, we can continue to be even solid, more solid than we have been. But I'm seeing a lot of good things from the offense.
That's the Holland EPL soccer band. They put the tight thing, pulls the hair back. All of the sweat stays on the back side of the hairdo and goes down the back, keeps it out of your eyes. There's nothing worse than that burning sweat in your eyeballs.
Can't have it. Finally, let's hear from Dan Campbell, of course, and the Lions, Scotty. He's hearing the support from the Lion faithful all over the city of Detroit. Here's Dan.
I don't know about a specific. Anytime I go to the volleyball tournaments, though, I'm always, I'm taking pictures, I'm shaking hands, we're talking about it, talk about the draft. So those things are good. And I get a lot of, I went to the grocery store last night on my way home. It was almost 10 o'clock, and I'm running in there, and I run out, and somebody goes, hey, coach, go get him, give him hell. I'm like, all right, we'll see you. So it's cool, it's cool. So, and obviously it's a lot better when you're winning. You're losing. Hey, coach, take this. So, but yeah, so we're in a good place right now. We just got to get a little bit better. That's what we got to do.
Because you haven't played a game yet.
How about they never get better? They never win. And what volleyball games is he going to? Where is that? There's no beach volleyball in Detroit. You'll get shot down by the water. I mean, honestly.
Boy, Dan's into the beach volleyball scene. Taking it.
I went to Metallica there. I was scared to death for my life.
Here's the rest of it. Kyler Murray back at practice for the Cardinals. Of course, he had the Honta last week, Scotty. He is back in the mix out there in Arizona. Mekhi Becton, Jets tackle. He left practice with a knee injury. What does he miss time with last year? A knee injury. That is not good. Of course, the Steelers had to give Boswell all that money. I guess Justin Tucker ran inside to the Ravens and was like, this guy makes the same as me now? You got to give me some more money. So they gave Tucker more money. He's once again the highest paid kicker in the NFL, Scotty. Couldn't have the same paycheck as Boswell. He wasn't having any of it. Your boy, Justin Tucker.
Lamar Jackson. That guy, when he comes into a game, late in the game, you are going to lose. He wins. He kicks winning field goals. That's what happens.
Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews both will not play in the Raven preseason opener. That is Thursday night against the Titans. Their first-round pick, center Tyler Linderbaum, dealing with a Liz Frank injury. That is not a good way to start your NFL career. They are going to get running back J.K. Dobbins back. He comes off the list today. He's on track to play in Week 1. Of course, he missed all of last year with the torn ACL. The Raiders say they do not plan on trading Josh Jacobs, despite the fact that they had him out there in the Hall of Fame game for a couple of snaps.
Trade him for Hunt.
Trade him for Hunt. There you go. Jacobs for Hunt. John Gruden's agent says that the leaked emails last year were a hit job, and that Gruden will coach again in the NFL. I don't know what he's smoking, Scotty, but Gruden will not coach again in the NFL. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to coach again in the NFL, but I do agree with him that it was a hit job on his name and career.
No doubt.
I think that was a dirty scene, what happened there. I actually think that they have something. I can't wait to see that lawsuit play out against the NFL because I think they did him, relatively dirty.
Kiko Alonso, of course, linebacker, Bills, Saints, Dolphins, Eagles. He retired, Scotty, finished. They had the Hall of Very Good induction ceremony over the weekend in Canton. Who do you want, Scotty? You pick. You want Baselli or Vermeil? I got both of them. Who do you want to hear from? Baselli or Vermeil?
Baselli.
Here we go. Baselli, proud to be the first Jaguar in the Hall.
The support and love of my family in all its forms throughout my 50 years is why I'm here today. As the first Jacksonville Jaguar to be welcomed as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's a profound honor, and I thank the Hall for the privilege, and I thank you for allowing me to be your teammates.
Yeah.
And the only guy that will ever get in as a Jacksonville Jaguar. Thanks for coming, folks.
Yeah, very, very possible. Alabama, #1 in the preseason coaches poll. I'm going to have more on this with you tomorrow,
What a
Scotty.
shock.
Odds from all 25 teams on the list. Tomorrow I'll also play Brian Kelly saying hello to the LSU media. Tom Kim wins the Wyndham Championship. The FedEx Cup starts this week. Emotional goodbye to Nick Faldo in the CBS booth yesterday. The tears were flowing.
Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
They play less games.
The early line.
Take a look at the top 4 seeds here in the Big Ten. They're going to play less
Rodgers
games.
and
the morning
Russell
after.
Wilson. We saw movement in the marketplace like
Fantasy sports
the Cleveland
today.
Cavaliers are a little thin as well.
Newswire.
-160 favorite on the money line today for Arizona.
Pharrell coast to coast.
That's where they win cups. They win Stanley Cups over there. Give me the
Game
Penguins.
time decisions.
Kind of bizarre when you consider everybody is out for the Warriors.
In-game live all
like
access.
I like Vandy against Bama. I think Vandy can win the game, take a 4.5.
In-game live, prime time.
The PGA champion.
In-game live, overtime.
done before the final bet.
Get the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid. Betting above the rim.
How can they run this back is beyond me. What I think this is, hey, Kyrie's comfortable coming. If things are still rocky in Brooklyn, that's when Kevin Durant may look to be moved.
Betting above the rim. The morning after.
What do you expect the offense to look like, Carrington, without having Tyreek Hill this year, and what impact will that have on Patrick Mahomes?
You can't do what New England did, excuse me, in the early mid-2000s, where you're just putting Brady and a cast of characters together. It is a playmaker league. I think you need dynamic weapons on the outside. I don't think the Chiefs have enough to win the Super Bowl this year, but I do think they're good enough to win their division, possibly win a playoff game.
The Sports Grid Network.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow into the $1.3 trillion business of sports with your daily numbers game. Well, it's come. TVG, a staple for betting on racing on television before 2017 and mobile betting, will now be renamed FanDuel Network, and the programming will focus on mainstream sports with a betting eye, looking at the positive nature of all aspects of this. There will be places for horse racing, clearly, but the channel dominated by other sports as well, though racing continues to change the meter upward as they move forward. The programming still requires significant content additions in order to make sense for 24 hours. And get this, the press release talks about the filling of the time with wagering opportunities such as pickleball, Korean football, Chinese basketball. Well, it may not be the most exciting stuff, but you can bet.
Carver High's checking on Matt Stafford's elbow right now. Fast forward, Ferrall in your facial, the Ferrall finish. Adesanya will defend his title against Alex Pereira at UFC 281 at the Garden in New York. Our buddy Michael Conlon says he's back after winning a fight over Miguel Moraga over the weekend. Man U loses their season opener to Brighton Albion Hove, or whatever the hell their name is. Emotional Nick Kyrgios breaks a 3-year title drought, wins the City Open in D.C., singles and doubles. DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero have an Instagram beef. Did you see them playing against each other and Murray lighting him up, throwing balls at him, shoving him, dunking on him, humiliating him, talking smack to him? That was good. Sabrina Ionescu, first WNBA player with 500 points, 200 boards, 200 dimes a single season. She's a savage. Seattle Storm honor Sue Bird in her final home game. Legend. Patrice Bergeron signs a 1-year deal with the Bruins. So does David Krejci, who was playing in the Czech Republic last year. Krejci's back. TL video. How about this guy fighting with his neighbor? He kept calling her Karen. It was awesome. Fight over. She said he was speeding down the street. He said he was getting his mail. One of our favorite stories, we can't show you the video, though. An Italian decathlete was running an entire race, and his junk kept popping out of his shorts. The guy's action rolling down his leg the entire race. He had to keep putting his package back in his pants. All the girls were excited. It was unbelievable. People running for cover, wading through thick water, ass water in Florida at Disney World. Everybody's vacation was ruined. Carver High's getting ready to go down there. He's going to be wading through muddy water at Disney World. GTD is next. See you tomorrow.